Okay, this video we're going to start actually displaying the turns to the user. So let's go back to Unity here. Okay, and first thing we just need to make is on our canvas, we're going to make a panel. Okay, this one we're going to call player X. Okay, let's reset the rect. Okay, and for the panel, whoops, we're going to position it somewhere up here. Yeah, something like that should be good. Okay, and color, set it to maybe like a, yeah, we'll go with that one for now. Okay, and we got to make child text components. We're going to use Text Mesh Pro. And let's just fix this now before it becomes an issue like last time. Okay, and the anchors, we are going to set this one to stretch. That way it always matches there. Okay, and the text we're just going to set to an X. We want to center this. Let's make this font a lot bigger. Yeah, something like that's fine. Let's do 86. I think that's what they did in the tutorial anyway. Okay, and the text. Yeah, we'll go with that color for now. Okay, so we have that, and we just got to duplicate this, and let's call it player O. And then for the position, let's take this. So we got it minus 335. Let's do the same, but just positive. Okay, and let's change this text to an O. Okay, and that should be good for the interface. Let's go back to our game controller. And this one's a bit different. We're actually going to make a class outside of the game controller class in here. What we're going to do, normally, like if you make a class like this, it's not going to be serializable. So you're not going to see it in the inspector. You won't actually have anything like if you make something public, it won't show up on your game object like these ones will. So we have to add system.serializable first, and this will make it so it is actually serialized. So we're going to do that. And then what we're going to do, this is just going to make it easier so we can actually see it in the inspector, and it'll be kind of categorized if you've never done this before. It's nice and it's really handy. So let's do a class, we'll call it player. Okay, and in here we're going to want two things. So we're going to want a public image, and we'll just call this panel. This will be the actual panel, you'll see in a minute. And then public text mesh pro GUI. And we'll call this one just text. Okay, so that's this one. We're actually going to make a second class like this as well. I'm just going to copy this. We're going to want to serialize it again. Okay, and this class we are just going to call player color. And this one's going to store two colors. It'll be an active color and an inactive. And it'll be nice and easy. We can just set it in the inspector. So in here we want to do public color, set panel color, okay, and then another public color, and this one will be text color. Okay, so that one's serialized. I'm just checking my notes, make sure we didn't miss anything there. Nope, that should be it. Okay, so we're going to make two instances of each class here. So for the player, we're going to have a player X and a player O. And then for this one, we're going to have two instances of this. One will be for the player that's currently active and one for the one that's inactive. So that way they'll just have separate color schemes that are separate from each other. Okay, so let's go back in our game controller here. And we're going to want to create them. So let's do public player. Now we actually have a player class, and we're going to call it player X, and then public player, player O, okay, and then public player color. This one we're going to call active player color, and then public player color, inactive player color. Okay, so now that we have those, if we actually go back to our game, let it compile for a second. Okay, so now we actually have these where you can see you can actually expand them and they're hidden, which is awesome. It makes it super handy to do it like this. So we just got to drag all these in. So player X is panel, player X is text, and then the same for player O. Player O text. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to want to set these colors. So for active, maybe we'll do let's go with maybe this light blue one, and for the text color I'm going to go with the red. Okay, and then for inactive, I think we'll do, let's do this very dark blue. And then for the text, let's just do like just this simple blue maybe. And the way this is set up, it's so easy to change this. So if you don't like the colors, you can just easily change anything. So now that we have that, the next thing we're going to have to do, we're going to have to make a method that takes in both the old and the new player. And by old and new, I mean for their turn. So whoever the current turn is, and then the previous player's turn. We're going to have to basically pass those into a method, and then we're going to have to set their colors to either be active or inactive. So let's go back to our player controller. Okay, and we're going to want to set it, we'll do set player colors, and it's going to take in new player, and another player, old player. Okay, so in here what we're going to want to do, the way this works, because these are classes with the values that we set up here, so all of these, when we pass them in, it's by reference. So if we pass in and we make a change to new player, it's actually going to impact what's in like the player X that we pass in. So that text and the colors will stay there. So let's do new player dot panel dot color equals active player color dot color, dot panel color. Okay, that's right. Okay, and then we also got to do new player dot text dot color. This equals active player color dot text color. And we're going to do the same old player dot panel dot color equals inactive dot panel color, and old player dot text dot color equals inactive dot text color. Okay, so that's the main thing all there. We do have to make it so it actually does the changing sides properly. So let's go to change sides. Okay, so where we have this operation here, after that, we're just going to have to do, let's do if player side equals X. Oh, that's going to be capital. So what we're going to do is set player colors. That's going to be player X first, and then player O. Whoops. And the order here is very important. So we got to do player O. Having typing issues today here. Okay, so we have that, and then we'll do else. Let's copy that, and this is going to be the opposite. So it's going to be player O and player X. So the way this is kind of working, it's determining like the first one is the current player, and that's the old player. So we need to make sure they're in the proper order here. One other thing we just got to do is let's go to awake. And let's go to, right after here, we're going to want to set the player colors here. So let's do, this should be, right now it's always starting player X first and then player O. That is something we can change later, but I'm fine with that. So we just got to make sure the order matches here as well. And then we got to do it one more time in restart game. Where is restart game? Okay, restart game. So we're gonna do it. So right before here. So we'll do set player colors, player X, player O. Okay, and that should be it, I believe. I'm just double checking my notes here, but let's go and run it. And let's try it. Okay, so X is currently active, O is active. There we go. Looks like there was a bug on the draw there. So you know what, we can fix that in the next one, but this is looking pretty good. That's pretty close. So we'll stop this video here and continue on.